Hey folks, this is Mark out at Positively Peninsular, and I know it's a quick follow-up to the winter update, but I wanted to thank everybody for all the folks that watched it, and again, I'm sorry for my son said, "Oh, you got a comment." I'm like, "Oh yeah, I think I saw that." I'm so sorry. I'll follow up on it. I apologize. Um, but I've just been working really hard, and I wanted to show uh, kind of what doing for the Septic Plateau. And before we go out, I made sure I turned down my music so I don't have copyright issues. But if you listen, you can hear my pond that's out back here. You hear that? And then I have a couple of little water features that it's kind of cool. It's just very soothing. And I have this one I normally keep outside there on the porch, but I bring it in for the winter because for obvious reasons. And So that's nice background noise. But what I wanted to show before we went out is the arrow garden I have, and unfortunately they've gone out. I think that they've gone out of business. But my buddy Matt down south, he and his fiance have one, and it's an indoor garden. And my God, folks, it's phenomenal. But you can, there are other vendors, there are other manufacturers. But I wanted to just show you kind of like my setup. Um, and so here, and I have it in my, I'm in my utility room. If I look out, you can see out in the backyard. But this is it. It's a self-contained unit. So these are cherry tomatoes. Look at the number of cherry tomatoes on here, folks. That is some crazy stuff. And then over here, this has done incredibly well. I've had to trim the flowers. The flowers are great, very aromatic. This is called Thai basil, and I use it in all my cooking. I just come in and I just grab something that's clean, no pesticides. It's all self-contained. It's all automated. I just add water and food when it tells me to. I'm pretty good at following directions. And I've got chives. See, there's some there. You can tell I've been trimming it. And I have some parsley back here. And I've got some Italian basil here. That'll look very familiar. And then this is a jalapeno. And I've already gotten 3 jalapenos that were... I'm not really good with size, but I would say probably like yay, which is maybe what, 3.5 inches. And I gave 2 to the guy that is doing all the heavy lifting, although I've been doing my fair share of heavy lifting the past couple of days since the last video. And then I kept one, and I used it with some shrimp I got at Fred Meyer, and garlic and jalapeno and basil. And it was just like so good and fresh. So I haven't seen, you could see it's still flowering. So I'm hopeful that it will produce more. I don't see any at this point, but maybe I don't know how it operates. The Thai basil just keeps going and going. That's something I'm going to put in. I got 4, and you can see the garden out there. We'll go out there in a sec, but I got 4 of these cedar things, these cedar planter boxes. They're like raised beds. So they're about 30 inches high, which is, I don't know, over 2 feet, not quite 3 feet, so 2.5 feet tall. And then they're very large. And I'm going to put them in the back corner because that's where the tree stump is, and that's where the huckleberry, the wild huckleberry was growing, and the root system is just chaos. And so I just told the guy, I said, don't kill yourself. But let's just bail on that idea. And I'll put the 4 raised beds I'm getting in there. I'm getting them this month. In fact, I've got to go online and check for delivery. But anyway, that's the Thai basil is something that you could see it's growing big. I have a rosemary. Now I don't use rosemary. I like smelling it. I don't use it a lot unless I have lamb or something. But that is huge, and that's a perennial. I mean, it just is going gangbusters. And so I'm going to be able to do herbs, and I think we have the kind of climate where I may be able to push some winter vegetables, like the cooler season vegetables, like I think like broccoli and cauliflower, those kind of veggies. Not your in-ground things, because we can get the ground pretty hard, pretty frozen. I'm not going to say it's permafrost, but so I'm just really, really happy. This was not very expensive. I think all in with all the extra things, and you could see that you get. So this is my next endeavors. I'm going to do salad greens, and I don't know if you can, but you can see. So there's 6 here, and I learned a lot of lessons on like what to do and what not to do. You could see that I have these bigger veggies. They kind of shadowed because I had some other Italian basil and some other thyme. The thyme always got moldy for some reason, and then the other Italian basil, I had another parsley too, which produced quite well. But then I used it all up. I don't know. I guess that's how it works. But they just weren't getting enough sun, and so they're getting really stunted. So I learned a lot. I would do something like, if I did a big plant, I would do a big one at one end, and then I would do a couple of, like a chive and a thyme and a basil. I can do those 3 at this end, and it should work out. I just won't put anything in the middle. But anyway, it's all, this is the seed pod thing, and you could see it just slips in. You take off the top, and bada bing, bada boom. And then there are other vendors. So you can see here, this is another vendor. And I can it's almost like the exact same thing. It's just not Arrow Garden, and they're not already set up. I get to set them up myself. Oh, joy. But anyway, but I just wanted to show that to you, because this is incredible. This has just been going gangbusters indoors, and it smells so good, folks. Smells so good. It's just a nice thing to have something growing in the winter when it's at its grayest and coldest and dreariest and yada yada yada. Anyway, so we're going to go out and just see the Septic Plateau, which is, we can kind of look out the kitchen window. If you don't mind, ignore the bird shit right here. So picnic table is going to go right out there. I'll show it to you. Where you see those big rocks, those are kind of the point places where the river rock is going to be outlining the ground cover, basically the Septic Plateau. And then pea gravel, you can see here, is going to go in here. And then this is the outer limit of the new flower bed in the back of the house. And I made it quite large, but we'll check that out. And so what I'd like to do is, this is an entrance right over here. We'll go out and get a close-up look. And what I'd like to do at the entrances on the right and left is, put like a planter, some type of planter. And just have some fun, and it won't add a lot of weight or anything. That's all I have to be careful of. And what I'm doing right now is I'm creating the paths for the pea gravel, which is coming on Friday. I did get the 3/4 minus today. Nick down at Deer Creek, thank you very much, Nick. They're great. If anybody's looking to buy a nursery, I believe they're selling. He's 72 and she's a bit younger, but I think she must be 60 something. early 60s. Anyway, they're real nice folks, but yeah, so they're selling. They're looking at selling and retiring. It's probably about time, but I'm going to be bummed to lose them. They're the folks that I get the topsoil from. You can see that's the topsoil that was over here, delivered here, and then Don, the guy, moved it all over there, because that's what's going to go up in the up on the septic plateau. Because when you take out all that grass and weeds and everything, it comes out clumped with dirt, right? So we're going to take all that, and we're going to kind of make more of a mound over on the wood fence side, and then plant on top of that. Put soil, just kind of like, almost like a little bit of a berm, and then plant on top of the berm, just for privacy and cover up that hideous fence. So let's just go out and take a look, because I do need to get lunch, and because I've already been out working and I'm sore as a dog. If dogs are sore, then that's what I am. But let's go out and look. I know I need to, you know what? I'm just going to go out and in my, whatever these things are, these, I don't know what they're called. It's amazing how much sediment I drag in. Look at this. It's a constant battle, folks. It's all right around here with nursery, but you can see why. Oh, and there's the beginning of the flower, the new flower bed. And so, ooh, it's chilly. This is gonna be quick, folks. We're gonna do a quick circuit because I'm not gonna do the whole thing out here. But you can see it's starting to take shape. Okay, so this is going to be this black gravel. This is called 3/4 minus. And it's going to just extend up there. And then there's going to be a big river rock here. And it's going to be kind of inlaid, so you can bring your wheelbarrow and everything. So this is like my work center, my little nursery, I guess. And then this will have river rock. We're going to add soil because this is low, comparatively. The picnic table goes up onto right about somewhere right around there. Take a look at it. So there's my delivery of the gravel that came today. Pond is doing great. Who knew? So you can see I've cleared out a lot. And in front are going to be big rocks and river rock. And then we're going to fill in behind them. Okay? And we're going to be adding soil. And then this is going to be 3/4 minus up to about, it kind of jags around like this. And that's going to be the 3/4 minus, the black stuff. I probably should delineate that a little bit better before he puts it out tomorrow. But you could see all the grass and weeds that, dig up. This is a lot of work, folks. And this is what I've been doing. And you can see this is the Septic Plateau. That's all that I've been doing. The flower bed is being outlined right there. This is all going to be pea gravel. But you can see the incline going down like this, right down to the house. So this is going to get probably about 3-4 inches of soil all in this area. Okay, septic is over here. But so anywhere, so this is where I would put a planter, okay, and then it's going to be filled in with soil behind, and then river rock. And so this is an entrance, and then so you can see this is going to be a path. I think you can see that pretty clear. So here's a path so that you can go to the other side without having to go all the way around. There's going to be a path over there kind of coming this way, and it's going to crisscross that way. So if I'm over in this way and I need to go over to the garden, I'll just take one of the paths. So any of the soil areas are going to have the ground covers. And this is from that test plot. Okay, I'm getting cold. Okay, so I'm going to expand that. So you can see this is a path. This is going to be pea gravel, boom, up to there. And then over here, here's the door, the gate of the garden. And then here is the outline of a flower garden, kind of going jaggedy, going to go around. And it's going to look like a continuation of the rhododendrons and just kind of swing around here, which I think will look really sharp in here. So everything is outlined with the river rock, and then in between the pathways are going to be pea gravel, which is like this pathway. There's going to be a little pathway cutting across there. A lot of pathways, and they're all kind of connecting. And I'm just hoping that that'll be kind of cool and interesting. Let me show you this. So this is where. So this is going to end up being the fill, which is going to go over to that area over there, and we're going to just create like a little bit of a berm or a ridge, and then plant on top of it. Excuse me. So it's a lot of cleaning up and basically starting from scratch. So yeah, anything that is ground, so this is where picnic table goes, anything that's ground is going to have ground cover. I haven't really figured out what I'm going to do specifically here for the picnic area, but I'll worry about that later. So you can see it's impossible to just get the weeds or the grass. It comes with a lot of baggage, i.e. soil. But yeah, so we're going to fill things in with pea gravel, which will be here on Friday. Okay, so it's going to go all the way around like that. And so cool beans, right? I'm very excited. It's like cool stuff. So everything's going to kind of look like my flower beds in the front, which is going to be with like the river rock, spaced with some of the rocks these are all from the land. These are all from the property. Okay, before I completely freeze my cones off, I know the whole country is going through a cold spell. Well, we're going through ours too. Fortunately, and I do mean this, we're very fortunate. We've dropped down into so daytimes are like low 40s or high 30s, and then night times are down now to like 25. But I heard back in New York that they were having, let's see, what did he tell me? He told me, my son told me it was like 16 degrees, and then the wind chill made it It's like, I said, you gotta be kidding me. No way. Yeah, way. But anyway, this is starting to get longer than I had anticipated, but I don't know how my filming was because I didn't use the tripod thingy, the holder thingy. I'm just using my hand. So I've got to get lunch, and so just very exciting. I'll go back in here into the utility room, which looks out over on the backyard. and I think you can really get a better sense of it. Okay, so this is pea gravel, and depending on the location, it may extend up to this line right there. Okay, not this line. This is stuff that needs to be put over onto the berm. And then you can see how rocky the soil is. All that out there, folks. I mean, I know I can't zoom in with whatever this thing's called, the GoPro. I could do a phone, but the longest I can do for a phone video that I can then send to my, because I don't know how to download it to the only way I know how to get it to my computer, which it gets it to Positively Peninsular, is to there's no cord or anything, so I have to email it to myself or message to myself. No, email to myself. I think that's, and they said it's like 6 minutes is the longest I can do, because I tried sending a 10-minute one and it wouldn't send. Anyway, so it's just, this should look, I'm hoping this just looks really super cool. When it's all said and done, it's all going to tie into that river rock that outlines the bottom of the garden, which I think looks super sharp. I'm totally jazzed. I mean, this is not the cheapest thing on the planet to do, but, and this is the project I took on. This is, I love doing this landscape and stuff. This has kind of been anybody that knows me will tell you that this is just kind of my passion. And I'm just so happy and pleased that even though I lost the whole summer, and that found somebody that's dependable, hardworking, conscientious and pleasant, and I don't have to babysit, and gets an incredible amount of work done in 5 hours. So he'll be here tomorrow to get the 3/4 minus taken care of, and then the following day, Friday, today's Wednesday the 15th maybe? Yep. Because I have an eye appointment on Friday. So right after the pea gravel gets here, which is actually quite nice to walk on, as opposed to the river rock, which, you'll twist an ankle. But anyway, here's what I wanted to kind of focus on in terms of my commentary. Is the whole thing with the wildflowers, wildfires in LA. And to hear people, I'd say most of them are Republicans, just trash the state, trash the governor, who was elected by the people of the state, I think twice. I just, supposedly he who shall not be named is president for all Americans. That's bullshit. It's just his cronies and his big donors and all these people. It's, come on, not fooling anybody. He doesn't give a shit about anybody else but himself, and enriching himself, and becoming an oligarch, and becoming a Putin. That's what he wants. He would love that. I think I mentioned that on the last video that was I think is behind all this is just basically Putin's guidance. He's taken Putin's playbook. I have vacuuming to do. That's how I know I've been working a lot out in the yard, is because I track in so much stuff. Look at that. Arg. Anyway, and I don't know, whatever happened to civility? That's what baffles me, is the lack of civility. I was watching a video between I guess they're both representatives, this Nancy Mace, who is one of the nastiest people I've ever met. She can wear as many crosses as she wants. She ain't no Christian woman. She got into it with this Crockett representative. I don't know where she's from. And I think a lot of people just kind of laugh it off, but I just was thinking, what the hell? These are grown people, representatives, in Congress acting like, I mean, my fifth graders behaved so much better than most of the, well, Republic definitely more than the Republican Congress, but I just don't get it. It's so divisive, you know. Anyway, I hope that you know, that folks will be a lot more benevolent towards LA. I don't know why everybody dumps on LA, but you know, it's devastating. You know, I went to undergrad in Santa Barbara, which is, you know, just north of Ventura.